Pleasure to meet y'all at last. Here we are again on Why Is That? In this series, you send me Why Is That questions rather than questions that relate to the words how, why, where, when, and otherwise. Otherwise, they will not be accepted into this series. However, when you do send me a Why Is That question, you'll have yourself a chance for a shout out based on the kind of question that you sent me. And so, here's a really good example, because today's question relates to my Twitter. Again, except it talks about a different topic based on my Twitter and its history of misfortune and injustice over the last 3 years, that is. So what we got here is another YouTube commenter, of course, because there's lots of YouTube commenters out there, and Twitter users that sent me questions on Why Is That? And so this YouTube commenter asked me, why is that your Twitter account had been rendered to a different date that's much more recent than the date that you actually started it? So that's actually a really good question, because not everybody knows why glitches and hacks tend to take place. And of course, glitches and hacks do have a lot to do with my Twitter, though I already have said plenty about my Twitter already ending up in glitches and hacks within the last 12 years of its run. So what we got here is we got ourselves a system nowadays that is supposed to be very protective of your computer software. And 25 years ago, there were not many high-end software protections existent at the time. So that would have made some computers out there very easy to hack, and that would have also made internet browsers very easy to hack as well, even though the internet wasn't supposedly around during the 90s. It usually came around during the 2000s when the majority of the American population had internet access at the time. But, of course, you catch the drift, because with internet browsers and computers back then, 15 to 20 years ago, that were very easy to hack, since that time we have come across lots of opportunities that we could use to our advantage. That way we can keep our computers safe from any harm, including cookies, viruses, and any other kinds of spam malware software. Any type of which that would have destroyed our operating systems, and that of which would have rendered our computers useless. And of course, a lot of times nowadays, computers are very expensive, especially with MacBooks and other kinds of laptops out there today. You just never know what could happen to you. But of course, my computer is a 2016 model Asus X555 series laptop with a 15.6-inch screen, and it has more than 500 gigabytes worth of storage on its hard drive, but it also has itself a data with an extra 385 gigabytes. It's very close to a terabyte when you count both of those in total, with 500 plus 385 gigabytes. It's very close to a terabyte, but then again, it's not a 1 terabyte storage laptop. I mean, I probably would have had to pay more money for that just to have 1 terabyte worth of storage. But the bottom line is, I do have what I want, and I really like how it is right now. I'm sure as heck not really planning to have it upgraded at any time. Probably except for the fact that my laptop does actually not function properly whenever it's unplugged from its charger. I kind of have to use it like it's a desktop. It doesn't work properly whenever I disconnect it from the charger. The screen just turns black every time it happens, but with the charger plugged in, the screen just pops right up the way it should. And I cannot necessarily tell exactly why that's the case. I mean, you can comment down below or tweet me as to what kind of issue that is. If you have a laptop that does the same exact thing, that has this black screen when you unplug it from the charger, and when you plug it back into the charger, the screen just pops back up. But that's not really in relation to the question. I mean, what happened to my Twitter was, it was just a pretty bad glitch back then. And I cannot exactly figure out why that happened. I mean, it's already been nearly 4 years since that even happened. Because, of course, the date does say December 18 of 2014, but on that same exact date was exactly when that happened. When that date pretty much just overtook the original date that I started my account, and it was just a pretty bad glitch at the time. And I was using an Amazon tablet at the time that I checked my account in a Briscoe County nearby. I mean, I just to this day, I cannot even picture exactly why a glitch like that took place and just replaced the original account creation date with a new date that, well, I don't even know how that happened even. I mean, it was just a bad glitch and the app just crashed. And then once I got back home and got to my computer, that's when I noticed that the date was switched. And now it said December 18, 2014. But here's the thing. That was not the original date that I started my account. The original date that I started my account was on August 12th of 2006. Of which that I probably should also mention that August 12th is William Grubb's birthday. As you can see here in this picture. This is William Grubb. He's one of my favorite YouTubers that I saw. He was one of the first ever YouTubers that I ever came across in my life. And he was probably one of my favorite YouTubers to this day, despite the fact that one of his channels that I really grew up with was dead by the end of March of 2017. But yeah, August 12th is William Grubb's birthday. August 12, 2006 would have made William Grubb 15 years of age. And August 12, 2006 was when my Twitter account was ultimately born for the very first time. Not December 18 of 2014, because that time, I mean, to this day, I still cannot figure out exactly how this glitch just altered my date somehow. I'm hoping that it's not permanent. I mean, it's probably not an easy fix if I don't even know what the heck I'm doing when I'm coming across something like this, but if I could find an expert out there who could help me fix up a glitch like this, then, well, I sure as heck would pay him handsomely. Whoever out there is very good with just rendering dates back to where they originally were. I mean, this kind of thing is actually new for me. I mean, dates that get altered somehow from certain glitches and crashes and other kind of issues that take place with your operating systems that you use. It's just kind of a new thing for me, really. But the bottom line here is that, well, it didn't do nothing serious to my account in any ways. I mean, that glitch that altered my date, it didn't do any serious damage to my account, or it didn't even cause any serious damage to any device that I used whenever I checked my account since then. But, once again, I'm still kind of just paranoid at how people think that my account is just too young, too recent, and crap like that. I mean, they're just... The fact that I cannot ultimately prove as to how the glitch took place and how my date just ended up getting altered from this particular glitch that took place, that's just kind of was ultimately making me feel very paranoid as to what could happen next. Somebody could end up going to me, why does your account say it was created in 2014? Did you ultimately delete your older version of your account? And the fact is I did not. I mean, like I said, I cannot prove that this glitch was responsible for altering my date and making my account look much, much younger than it originally was before the glitch took place. But, of course, since I'm not a liar and I do have lots of memories of many certain disputes and actions that have taken place in my time, then if one day there was to be some kind of memory scanner, not like the one from the Robinsons movie, I mean, then there would be a good chance that I would be able to prove to others from my eyes, looking at that tablet, then it would give some people time to research exactly how can we fix this kind of glitch and how can we prevent it from happening again with some other kind of software protection online or which that I can use. So, there you pretty much have it right there. But here's another thing as to how my Twitter account is just having such a bad time with an altered date on it. Another thing that really kind of happened that just took place with the date being altered is actually how my follower count just didn't really seem to get any much higher. I cannot really say for sure if the glitch was responsible for that particular event as well, because, I mean, I cannot ultimately prove how the glitch took place and how it just wiped out my older date and just switched it with a new date. The same kind of date that it was when I checked that account at that time. December 18 of 2014 was ultimately the time which I did check my account on an Amazon tablet in Abruzzo County. But then, yeah, that's just when the worst took place. The glitch happened, the app crashed, and I had to reload several times just to ensure that the app was alright for me to use again. My account is now much younger. It's about 8 years younger now. It's no longer 12 years of age, as it would seem to be. But, based on my memory, I know that August 12, 2006 was my Twitter's original creation date. And like I said, there's really no logical way for me to explain as to how my account's date was just altered just like that because of the glitch that took place. And once again, there's really nothing else that I could do besides just stay put, stand by, wait for anything to happen, wait for a miracle even. But ultimately, I can pretty much deal with this. I mean, all it did was alter my date. It didn't really do anything wrong with it, other than just alter the date. If anybody else had something similar to that happen to them, which they had a glitch or a crash or something happen to them, they had to restart the app, or whatever it is, how they use it. They use it on the internet, they use it on their phone, their tablet, whatever. Make sure that you give me a comment down below, or even tweet me if you want to, and then just tell me your side of the story that happened, how your account's creation date on any social media that you use got altered. You can just tell me how a certain glitch or crash occurred in the same way that happened to me, to you, and how it managed to alter your date to something else. So, that's pretty much it for right now, but there's also going to be lots more to talk about because I've got lots of other questions out there that I would definitely want to tell at any given point in time. So, if you want to see more, make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, follow me on social media, and stay on the Hollywood side. Oh, and that also reminds me of the fact that, well, my Twitter account is also going to be hitting 28,000 followers. It's going to be going on to 30,000, I'm hoping, by the end of next year. And I don't even know what's going on so far. I mean, all I can remember is how the fact that, well, with more people I'm following than the amount that's following me and having such a tough time to unfollow every one of them, I've been thinking that I could invent something for us to use to automatically unfollow everybody that is not following you. I would probably end up giving it a name even, but I've only just thought about this idea because of all the tough times I've been through. I've spent hours and hours and hours diving down through my following category, just diving down as far as I could before anything bad would happen. But back then I was able to reach the bottom of that particular column, and I know for a fact that they only use 3 columns of people, which they should probably add more as you keep zooming out. That's what I'm thinking that they should try and do, as some kind of an update even. For those who use Twitter on their laptops or PC, or whatever it is that you use as a computer of some sorts. But since that's not really taking place right now, I don't know what else I could really tell.